This video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 paradigms of belief and showing you exactly how to shift to the parallel reality version of you that you prefer to experience. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can shift the different paradigms of belief. There's 3 main paradigms, how to transcend each of those, and at the same time, how to shift to and as the version of you that you prefer. So for this process, let's first off understand that there is an infinite number of versions of you. There is any possible variation you can imagine, it already exists, because what parallel realities show us is that every probability exists right now. So the stereotypical way of thinking about the law of attraction is that I am here, I want that over there, so I'm going to attract that from over there to over here. But it's more so about understanding that the version of you that already has that thing already exists, so it's about aligning with the vibrational frequency of that version of you, and your frequency is a combination of what you think, how you feel, and what you do. And when you align with those things, you will then perceive of them in your life, because remember, reality is a reflection of what you believe to be true. And the way that we shift through these different parallel realities is through our focus, through our emotions, and through our actions. When you make a choice, you shift yourself to a different potentiality and to a different probability. So this is about understanding that dynamic and how you can get from quote unquote here to there, not by traveling all the way distance through this to this. It's more so about embodying the frequency. So we're going to be talking about that, but we're going to be going deep on understanding these paradigms of belief. Now, here's something I'm going to share with you right now that might blow your mind. You may be like, whoa, I see my whole life differently. From this point going forward, my life is never going to be the same again. It's through understanding this one idea. Whatever you believe to be true, the truth is, all truths are true. Meaning, whatever you look for in life, you will find evidence of. Imagine that there is this infinite potential that you are experiencing your body, you are experiencing your life, and what happens is you have this belief filter in your mind that then shines this infinite source consciousness that you are embodying and can only perceive of things that can go through that filter. So you could find evidence of whatever you look for, but you will only find evidence that resonates with past prior experience or where you let your mind go. So if you were to look for evidence of you being confident and believing you're confident, you will find even experiences in your past of you being confident. If you were to look for evidence of you not being confident, you will also find that. Everything in our life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When someone comes up to you and they go, hey, I just got done taking a cold shower. When they go, hey, taking a cold shower is very healthy, because when you do it, X, Y, Z happens, and blah, 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 blah. You might say, oh, I'm going to start taking cold showers, or you may not, but you may see that and go, well, you may buy into that belief system, you may not buy into the belief system. You may hear it from someone that you think has authority. Maybe you look at me and you're like, he seems very credible or not credible. Whatever it is, you may look at it and be like, I'm going to do that or not do that because I'm going to take his word for it. So you give that belief higher credence, higher credibility. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And you then do it. Or you don't do it. Now, the thing with beliefs and paradigms that I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to pay more attention to what beliefs you allow into your life and what beliefs you reject. Yes, it is important to have an open mind, but if you walk around and you believe everything that you're told, you will then create a belief structure that keeps you boxed in. If you watch the news and you look and you say, oh, there's so much bad in the world is a bad, harmful place, guess what? Your reality will become that. You will look around and see that everywhere you go. You will go on traffic and you will notice the thing that's bad that's happening. You will notice the things on the news. You will notice things everywhere that reflect that the world is a scary place. But you see, there's an infinite number of potentialities and probabilities that exist. So you are then tuning to the probabilities and to the experiences in life of those negative experiences due to the self-fulfilling prophecy part of our mind that is always looking for consistency. So the reason I'm making this video is to show you that you are source energy. You are unconditional love and bliss, and you have an infinite amount of potential inside of you. But what happens is, as we embody our energy, we have these filters of belief inside of our brain that then only perceive of things that are in alignment to those filters. So the key then is letting go of the filters, because the filters are only set there as a safety mechanism. This is the way things are. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm always going to find evidence of this. The key is to remove those filters, because when you remove them, you then align with more potentials that are actually in alignment with the way that you prefer to be. So this is about removing the filters, understanding the paradigms of belief. Now, remember, whatever you believe to be true will be reflected back to you. So these paradigms of beliefs are all choices. From a certain level, you may look and say, well, right now I believe I can only make $50,000 a year. I'm going to believe I can make $100,000 a year. Now, from a certain perspective, if you link up your self-image and you believe that, you may get to $100,000 a year. But I got news for you. Even $100,000 a year is a limitation. Which is why you can use these beliefs, but you're using them in the same way you would use a car. You would use it for a period of time to get from point A to point B, but it's not the only mode of transportation. In the same way, acquiring a new belief is not the only way of then getting a new result. There are other ways to go about it, and one way that you can do it is by being present to the moment and by observing those beliefs that come up and seeing them for what they are. That is the key. Because when you become aware that, hey, this is just a vehicle I'm currently using. I currently have the belief that I can make $50,000 a year. It's kind of serving me. I'm going to drive in this vehicle and it gets me to a certain place and to where I get out of the frame here for a second, but then I come back because it's just a vehicle. And what I can then do is I can change the vehicle. And what you'll find is that as you then get into a nicer car that says, hey, I'm Aaron and I can make over $100,000 a year, I'll eventually be like, yo, that's a limitation too. And it is a limitation. So I look at that and I go, huh, that was the old version of me. That was the 2012 car. It no longer serves. Now I'm driving in a Ferrari. That's the metaphor. And because I'd really rather have a Tesla, to be honest with you. And what it is just looking at that and be like, okay, this is never about, is this belief true? Because anything you look for, you will find evidence of it being true. Even things that aren't true or even have a lot of credence in life. If you were to look on Google right now for something that sounds absolutely ridiculous. I remember when I was a kid, I saw the National Enquirer, like Dick Cheney is a robot, and it had like a picture of him with like wires hanging out of him. You can find evidence that Dick Cheney is a robot. If you look online right now and look for the world is going to end on November 24th, my birthday, and you need to get a whole bunch of canned goods and all that stuff, and you need to go to somewhere else, you will find evidence of it. Go on Google right now, type that in. I bet you find evidence. Whatever you start focusing on, you will find more evidence of. Now, it's not a question of, is this belief true? It's, is this belief efficient? Does this belief resonate? So remember that. Does this serve me? You might go, well, it's true. It's true that all my ex-boyfriends or girlfriends treat me like this and I'm not worthy. It's true. But that is a choice. And when you become aware of it's a choice, you can be like, do I want to keep experiencing this? Do I want to keep dragging myself along out of frame where you can't see me anymore? But then I come back again? Do you want to keep on experiencing that? That's my question to you. Because it's never a matter of, does this belief have merit and is it true? It is this belief efficient? Because the truth is, cars will get you everywhere. You could ride, I used to drive a Honda Accord. It get me from point A to point B. But guess what? Eventually I'm like, this is cool, but I want a better car. So then I got a better car. And now I like this car and I'll ride it for a while. But in a year or two, I'm going to trade it in for something else. And it's not like, well, is it true? Is the Honda Accord true? It gets me from point A to point B. It still works. You may have beliefs that don't even serve you, but they still work. Because beliefs are set there to be a safety mechanism. You may say, well, okay, I do attract all of these like negative relationships and everything, but guess what? You're still attracting relationships. Or maybe you're not attracting relationships. It's still getting you to some type of result. But it depends upon that belief system as to what result that is. And maybe that belief system, that car, is protecting you from the pain of a relationship. So we're all driving around in these shitty cars, not aware that yes, they're getting us from point A to point B. We don't want to resist it, but what we want to end up doing is being aware of what they are. They are simply cars that are getting us from point A to point B. Just like you have belief systems that get you from point A to point B, but they might be outdated. And one day you might find out that it's cool to drive these cars around, but I'd rather fly. I'd rather get in a helicopter. I'd rather disapparate like in Harry Potter. You realize that cars are themselves a limitation. Just like beliefs in of themselves are limitations, but it's never a question, is this belief true? It's, is this belief efficient? And if you want to upgrade your efficiency, let go of the old one and trade it in for a new one, aware that it's just a belief and it's just a vehicle. So this is when we begin to raise our understanding and our awareness of three main levels of belief. Let's look at them. I'm going to come this far, but not out of frame this far. Just this far. You'll see right here, you will see that of the three different levels. I mean, you'll see many different levels because this is a chart of consciousness that I share in almost every video. But, boom, 250. That's one paradigm. 250 and below. You'll see that neutrality, shame, fear, guilt, all the lower emotions. Then you'll see that of accepting, willingness, reasoning. That's the middle level paradigm of belief. And then above that, you'll see love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. That's another level of paradigm. Each of these is a different paradigm of beliefs. Now, in the lower ones, 250 and below, 250 is a big step because we learn how to observe our thoughts. In this paradigm, there is a general belief that life is happening to me. I am a victim of circumstance. In this paradigm of belief, we may get trapped. We may get trapped because we think those thoughts are who we are. But remember, those thoughts are just beliefs. They might be outdated beliefs that no longer serve, but nonetheless, they're just beliefs. And they're just thoughts that are on autopilot. And what you can begin to do is become aware of them, because when you become aware of them, you can then get out of the car and go, hey, I don't really, this doesn't serve me anymore. It kept me safe, but I'm transcending it. The middle paradigm is a belief system of I create my own reality. Many times this is the go-getter mentality. I'm going to go do things. I'm going to go be someone. And even up till 499, which is where you realize that reality is a reflection of what you believe to be true, there's a certain paradigm of belief within here. And once again, this is just another vehicle. It's another type of vehicle that you can drive. And then once you get to 500, that's a state of unconditional love. That's a vehicle that you realize you can then teleport. You can then be in a plane. You can then get places much more efficient, and you can become present to the moment, because when you're present to the moment, you're in vibrational frequency with what you want to experience. But nonetheless, all three paradigms of these, what I want to share with you is that they're all just vehicles. They are all choices. They are all self-fulfilling prophecies. They are not the actual inherent reality itself. They are just a part of the experience. They are just something we choose. All of these cars, all of these modes of transportation are choices. They may be one may be more efficient than the other. A plane may be more efficient for getting farther than that of a little Honda Accord. The Honda Accords are actually pretty efficient, and they last a pretty long time, and they get great gas mileage. Never mind. Anyways, when you look at this whole process, become aware of what vehicle you're using. Become aware of the beliefs you have and understand that they're just beliefs. They're just vehicles. They are not yes or no, true or false. They are simply efficient or inefficient for you. Because the truth is you are unconditional love and bliss. You are source energy, and if you're playing small, it's because there's a belief system, a filter in the mind that is saying, this is all that's real. This is all I potentially can do. This is all that I am. However, that is a limitation. The way to get to becoming more is not to pile anything else on, it's to simply remove that filter. You remove the filter by being aware that you are choosing these experiences, whether consciously or unconsciously. And if you find that that belief is inefficient, then let it go and allow something new to come in. With the awareness that even that new thing that comes in is also a belief. It is also a self-fulfilling prophecy. The truth is, all truths are true. You are more than any truth. It's simply about being aware of what is efficient. Is this belief serving me? That is the true question. Now, I'm going to walk over here out of this frame. Just kidding. I know I just keep coming back to that. I'm going to be sharing with you the parallel reality versions of you. How can you shift to the parallel reality you want? First off, imagine the best possible version of you. How would you be acting? What would you be doing? What kind of emotions would you be feeling? All of these things, understand that this version of you already exists. It's already here and now. It is already there and here, and you don't have to try to become that person. Just be more of who you are. Let go of the inauthentic filters that you might have. And when you do that, you can then align to the vibrational frequency of that version of you. Now, what is the vibrational frequency of that version of you? Well, imagine right now. I'm going to imagine the version of Aaron that is traveling the world like a mini little Tony Robbins. It's like running around on stage, yelling at people, saying, you know, putting his hands on top of people and stuff, like on their heads and stuff. And they're like, oh. I imagine that version of me. What would that version of me believe? That version of me would believe that I have this ability to go on stage and influence lots of people. That version of me would have this belief that I love to travel and I love to be in new places and I love to help people transform their lives. That version of me would have certain values, would have a certain routine of traveling, would have a certain way of being, would read certain type of books, would meet up with certain type of people. That version of me lives a certain way. By me using my imagination, I'm able to connect to that version of me, and then I'm able to say, how can I be more like that version of me? What can I do? What can I be? How can I feel? And then what I do is I simply make choices in my current version of me as that version of me. One thing I'll be doing soon is hiring an assistant, someone that can literally do all my day-to-day operations because I'll be traveling. And the version of me that is traveling the world has an assistant because I can't do all of this stuff without having someone else to help because there's too many day-to-day operations of what I do. So I'm looking into that. That's something that's something I'm doing. What is something else I would do? I would get up every day and have a certain routine. I would have a certain type of luggage, some type of suitcase, right? Now that sounds small, but think of things like that. I would read certain type of books. I would reach out to certain type of people in my industry. I would mastermind. There are certain things I would do that are going to be in the vibrational frequency of that reality. The imagination is the bridge to that reality, and then I make the choices as that version of me, knowing that it already exists. I don't have to create that version of me. I don't have to create my own reality. I simply choose it because it already exists, and I choose it from a sense of that vibrational resonance. How am I thinking, acting, and doing? What are these three things? How can I embody them now? Because as I embody them now, I then am able to perceive of the reality that is equal to that vibration. And vibration may seem like a weird word, but guess what? Quantum physics shows us that everything is vibration. So what you can do is align yours with the best version of you and move forward in that direction knowing that that's how you prefer to be. So all of these things that I'm sharing with you today, it's about understanding that all truths are true. Whatever belief you have, is it efficient? Not is it true, is it efficient? Because all truths are true. You want evidence that you're confident? You'll find it in your past. In the same moment right now, can you find evidence of you not being confident? It's also in your past. It just depends on the focus and the momentum, the focus on the present moment. Instead, focus on you being the authentic version of you, being present to the moment. Focus on understanding that there's different paradigms of beliefs. Choose to understand that that's all they are. They're just beliefs. And then you can start to let them go. You can start to raise your vibration, and then you can perceive of the vibrational resonance of the reality you want to experience, knowing it already exists. You don't got to create it. You just got to shift to it. And as you do that, everything begins to change. So here's another thing I'll be doing is more live Q&As on Instagram. If you want more videos from me, twice a day I post videos there. Plus I do live Q&As. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, boop, right here you'll see boop, Instagram. And what else? Some other stuff. Something else I want to say. Oh, the way YouTube does things now is you actually have to hit the button to see the notifications. I got a lot more vids coming. I think they're really cool. I think you're going to like them. So hit the notification button so you see the daily vids. Also, the most powerful meditation that I've ever created is one for completing the past. When you complete the past, you let go of all negative emotion. You let go of patterns that are holding you back. It is the most powerful meditation I have ever made. And it will help you to feel 100% worthy, whole, and complete. And it will help you to start to create from a new paradigm because you'll let go of the past once and for all. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days to get the maximum benefit out of it. It's a YouTube video. It's absolutely free. Read the comments just to see what I'm talking about. You will see evidence of how powerful it is. Read the comments. I'll link it on the top below. Listen to it for 21 days, and I think it can absolutely transform your life. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and other than that, as always, peace, much love, namaste.